the returns in life, whether in wealth, relationships or knowledge, come from compound interest. The most important skill for getting rich is becoming a perpetual learner. Embrace accountability and take business risks under your own name. Society will reward you with responsibility, equity and leverage. Wealth is assets that earn while you sleep. We evolved for scarcity but live in abundance. When building a portfolio of investments that can have non-linear outcomes, never sell early. You may be right most of the time, but the one time you're wrong will cost you most of the returns. If you want to make the wrong decision, ask everyone. You must own equity to gain your financial freedom. If you want to be a philosopher king, first become a king, then become a philosopher, not first become a philosopher and then become a king. Wealth is a very positive sum game. We create things together. We're starting this endeavor to create this piece of art that explains what we're doing. At the end of it, something brand new will be created. It's a positive sum game. Status, on the other hand, is a zero-sum game. It's a very old game. We've been playing it since monkey tribes. It's hierarchical. Who's number one? Who's number two? Who's number three? And for number three to move to number two has to move out of that slot. So status is a zero-sum game. If you can outsource something or not do something for less than your hourly rate, outsource it or don't do it. 40-hour work weeks are a relic of the industrial age. Knowledge workers function like athletes, train and sprint, then rest and reassess. Forget rich versus poor, white collar versus blue. It's now leveraged versus unleveraged. Earn with your mind, not your time. I would rather be a failed entrepreneur than someone who never tried, because even a failed entrepreneur has the skill set to make it on their own. Apply specific knowledge with leverage, and eventually you will get what you deserve. How much of the day is spent doing things out of obligation rather than out of interest? Grind and sweat, toil and bleed, face the abyss. It's all part of becoming an overnight success. The democratization of technology allows anyone to be a creator, entrepreneur or scientist. The future is brighter. The Lindy effect for startups. The longer you go without shipping a product, the more likely you will never ship the product. The internet allows you to scale any niche obsession, play long-term games with long-term people. Don't partner with cynics and pessimists. Their beliefs are self-fulfilling. If you're willing to bleed a little every day, you may win big later. Take business risks under your own name. You make your own luck if you stay at it long enough. If it entertains you now but will bore you someday, it's a distraction. Keep looking. Competing without software is like competing without electricity. Renting out your time means you're essentially replaceable. The people who have the ability to fail in public under their own name actually gain a lot of power. Any meeting with 8 people sitting around at a conference table, nothing is getting done in that meeting. You are literally just dying 1 hour at a time. The most dangerous things are heroin and a monthly salary. Escape competition through authenticity. The less you want something, the less you think about it, the less you obsess over it, the more you're going to do it in a natural way. Most of the gains in life come from suffering in the short term, so you can get paid in the long term. Retirement is when you stop sacrificing today for an imaginary tomorrow. When today is complete in and of itself, you're retired. My definition of wisdom is knowing the long-term consequences of your actions. Wisdom applied to external problems is judgment. Don't take yourself so seriously. You're just a monkey with a plan. A rational person can find peace by cultivating indifference to things outside of their control. The enemy of peace of mind is expectations drilled into you by society and other people. Caught in a funk, use meditation, music and exercise to reset your mood. Then choose a new path to commit emotional energy for the rest of the day. Life hack. When in bed, meditate. Either you will have a deep meditation or fall asleep. Victory either way. Meditation is intermittent fasting for the mind. Courage isn't charging into a machine gun nest. Courage is not caring what other people think. Inspiration is perishable. Act on it immediately. Changing your interpretation of your past is often just as good as changing your past. School, politics, sports and games train us to compete against others. True rewards, wealth, knowledge, love, fitness and equanimity come from ignoring others and improving ourselves. My one repeated learning in life: there are no adults. Everyone's making it up as they go along. Figure it out yourself and do it. The really smart thinkers are clear thinkers. They understand the basics at a very, very fundamental level. I would rather understand the basics really well than memorize all kinds of complicated concepts I can't stitch together and can't rederive from the basics. The most important trick to be happy is to realize that happiness is a choice that you make and a skill set that you develop. You choose to be happy and then you work at it. It's just like building muscles. I think learning how to break habits is a very important meta skill that can serve you better in life than almost anything else. A fit body, a calm mind, a house full of love. These things cannot be bought, they must be earned. Desire is a contract that you make with yourself to be unhappy until you get what you want. A rational person can find peace by cultivating indifference to things outside their control. In any situation in life, you only have 3 options. You always have 3 options. You can change it, you can accept it, or you can leave it. What is not a good option is to sit around wishing you would change it, but not changing it, wishing you would leave it, but not leaving it, and not accepting it. It's that struggle, that aversion, that is responsible for most of our misery. The phrase that I probably use the most to myself in my head is just one word: accept. To the experts, what looks like hard work from the outside is play from the inside. The only true test of intelligence is if you get what you want out of life. Specialization is for insects. I don't believe in this model of trying to focus your life on one thing. You've got one life, just do everything you want. Status is your ranking in the social hierarchy. Art is anything done for its own sake.